Yesterday, Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed the historic Building Michigan Together plan, pumping nearly $4.8 billion into infrastructure projects.
As TV5's Raven Blue reports, a good chunk of that money will be used to create a new state park in mid-Michigan and repair the dams that failed, causing catastrophic flooding.
Nearly 2 years after two mid-Michigan dams broke, funds have been allocated to help with the construction plans to rebuild them and others. But for residents living in the Four Lakes Special Assessment District, the money will hopefully ease some of the financial burden placed on them, thanks to the bipartisan Building Michigan Together bill.
We've all been kind of on our toes waiting for it to get passed.
The bill allocates $200 million to the Four Lakes Task Force to rebuild the area's four dams in Midland and Gladwin counties. Another $40 million will go to addressing repairs, renovations, or the elimination of dams statewide. Teresa Quintana and other homeowners in the district have been waiting for the bill to pass because of the hefty assessment price tag.
The special assessments that were going to go onto the lakefront and backlot properties was significant. I mean, I think Sanford Lake started out at $3,000 a year. Then things were reassessed. It was brought down to $1,600 a year, which was better than $3,000, but it was still not perceived by a lot of the community as an affordable assessment for homeowners.
In May 2020, several areas in mid-Michigan were underwater after the Sanford and Edenville dams were breached.
I'm just excited to have safe infrastructure that's new, with newer technology than, what was 100 years ago. I knew that Sanford was a high hazard dam, but I certainly never in my lifetime expected it to actually breach.
Since then, the dam has been open, turning the Sanford Lake into a flowing river. Village of Sanford President Dolores Porty says life in the area will be revived with this funding.
Where we'll look out our window and we'll see water again in our lakes. We'll be able to stay home on 4th of July and do what we used to do and be out on our boats and watch the fireworks,
which will in turn grow the local economy.
We see a lot of people investing in the village in the future of the village, and this $200 million will help solidify that continued investment because people will see the continued progress towards getting the lakes back.
In addition to the money for the repairs to the dams, the Building Michigan Together bill will finally bring Genesee County an amenity other counties have had for years.
He said, we got state parks in 82 counties. I was like, that's great. But of course, I know there are 83 counties in Michigan. I said, which county doesn't yet have a state park?
$250 million will go to state parks, including turning the Chevy Common, a more than 60-acre property along the Flint River, into a state park in the city of Flint. The property, a former manufacturing complex for General Motors, will become the state's 104th state park.
This is where our families can recreate and benefit. Quality of life is important.
Some of the key features will be to energize the riverfront. Hopefully it will be creating places where people can connect and creating gathering spaces where people can enjoy themselves by themselves or together, to improve access to the river and linkages along the river into the community.
$26.2 million will go to Flint's State Park, which will bring an array of features.
And with this park's plan for an amphitheater and multiple boat launches and recreation, we're going to see recreation businesses sprouting up and bringing more jobs to the community.
Features that Governor Whitmer says will build the economy of Flint.
Parks generate value for their surrounding area and they sustain local small business. On average, for every dollar invested in land conservation leads to $4 in economic benefit, meaning that this park could have an over $100 million economic impact on the city of Flint.
Parks and trails across the state will see a $450 million investment to boost the state's tourism and outdoor recreation industry. $224 million will be used to help the Department of Natural Resources address a backlog of infrastructure, repair, and maintenance for 103 existing state parks. The nearly $5 billion will also improve drinking water, fund road and bridge projects, build affordable housing, and more for Michigan residents throughout the state. Raven Blue, WNEM TV5.